Welcome back to Scale of the Cosmos. Smash like and subscribe. Jupiter, the king of planets, a massive gas giant so enormous that you could fit more than 1,300 Earths inside it and still have space left over. From far away, it looks calm, beautiful even. Smooth bands of color wrapping around the planet, swirling storms that almost look painted across its surface. But that image is deceptive. Because Jupiter is not calm, it's not peaceful, and it's definitely not safe. In fact, Jupiter is one of the most extreme and violent environments in the entire solar system. And if you ever got too close, it wouldn't just kill you, it would erase you. Let's imagine the impossible. You somehow travel across millions of miles of empty space. You reach Jupiter. At first, it doesn't look that different from what you've seen in pictures. A massive sphere of clouds, slowly rotating, glowing softly in the sunlight. But as you get closer, you start to realize something. This planet isn't like Earth. There's no ground, no surface, no place to land. And then you fall. At first, it feels almost peaceful. You're descending through the upper atmosphere. Soft clouds drift around you. Colors blend together, oranges, whites, browns, stretching endlessly in every direction. It almost feels like floating. But that illusion doesn't last long, because Jupiter's atmosphere is anything but gentle. The first thing that hits you is the wind. Jupiter has some of the fastest winds in the entire solar system, over 300 miles per hour, faster than the strongest hurricanes on Earth. And these winds don't just blow in one direction. They collide. They twist. They tear through the atmosphere in massive, chaotic currents. You wouldn't be floating anymore. You'd be thrown, violently, spun in every direction, completely out of control. You wouldn't be able to orient yourself. Up and down would stop meaning anything. The sky and the ground would blur together. And as you're being tossed around, something else begins to change. The pressure. Unlike Earth, where pressure stays relatively stable, Jupiter's pressure increases the deeper you go, and it increases fast. At first, it might feel like weight pressing down on you, then more weight, then far too much. Your chest tightens, your breathing becomes difficult, your body starts to feel compressed, and it doesn't stop. The deeper you fall, the more intense the pressure becomes, stronger and stronger, pushing in from every direction. Your lungs wouldn't be able to expand. Your organs would begin to compress. Your body would be squeezed beyond anything it was built to handle. Eventually, the pressure would become overwhelming, and then it would crush you. But before that happens, Jupiter introduces another problem: heat. Despite being far from the sun, Jupiter is incredibly hot on the inside. As you fall deeper, the temperature rises rapidly. Hundreds of degrees, then thousands. It's not a slow warming. It's a rapid increase. You would feel it immediately. Your surroundings would heat up. Your suit, if you had one, would begin to fail. And once that happens, your body wouldn't stand a chance. You wouldn't just be crushed, you'd be cooked. And all of this is happening at the same time. The wind tearing you apart, the pressure crushing you, the heat overwhelming you. But Jupiter still isn't done, because inside its atmosphere, there are storms. Not just storms, gigantic planet-sized systems of chaos. The most famous one is the Great Red Spot, a storm so large it could swallow Earth whole, and it's been raging for over 300 years. Imagine falling into that. Winds even faster, chaos even more intense, a never-ending hurricane that never weakens. You wouldn't escape it. You'd be trapped inside it, spinning endlessly. And just when you think it can't get worse, Jupiter lights up the sky. Lightning, massive bolts of energy ripping through the atmosphere, far more powerful than anything on Earth. These aren't brief flashes, they're enormous discharges of energy. If one struck near you, the light alone would blind you. The energy would tear through everything around you, and if it hit you directly, it would be instant. But even lightning isn't the most extreme thing waiting inside Jupiter, because the deeper you go, the stranger things become. The gas around you starts to change. At incredibly high pressures, hydrogen, the most common element in Jupiter, begins to behave differently. It transforms into something called liquid metallic hydrogen. This isn't something we experience on Earth. It's a state of matter where hydrogen acts like a metal. It conducts electricity. It flows like a liquid. And it exists under conditions so extreme that nothing we know could survive there. By the time you reach this layer, the pressure is millions of times stronger than Earth's. There is no survival, no resistance, no escape. You wouldn't even make it close. But if you somehow could observe it, you'd be witnessing one of the most alien environments in the universe. And this layer is what creates Jupiter's magnetic field, which brings us to one of the most dangerous parts of the entire planet: radiation. Jupiter has the strongest magnetic field of any planet in the solar system. That means it traps enormous amounts of radiation. The radiation belts around Jupiter are incredibly intense, so intense that they could kill a human in minutes. Even spacecraft have to be specially designed to survive in that environment. If you were exposed to it directly, your body wouldn't stand a chance. Your cells would be damaged almost immediately. Your DNA would begin to break apart. You wouldn't feel it at first, but it would be happening, fast. And before you even reached the deeper layers of the planet, the radiation alone could end your life. And then there's gravity. Jupiter's gravity is more than twice as strong as Earth's. As you fall deeper, that pull becomes stronger. You accelerate faster and faster. There's no slowing down, no stopping. You're being dragged inward, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's no ground to land on, no surface to hit, just endless layers of atmosphere, becoming more extreme the deeper you go. Eventually, everything combines: the crushing pressure, the unbearable heat, the violent storms, the intense radiation, the unstoppable gravity, all working together, not just to kill you, but to completely destroy you. And the most terrifying part: there's no clear moment when it happens, no impact, no final second. You just keep falling until your body can no longer exist. Jupiter doesn't need to attack you. It doesn't need to chase you. It simply exists in a way that makes survival impossible. It's not trying to kill you. It doesn't even notice you. And that's what makes it so terrifying. Because on Jupiter, you don't matter. Not to the planet. Not to the forces around you. You're just another object, falling into something far too powerful to understand. So why do we study it? Why do we send probes into something so dangerous? Because Jupiter helps us understand the universe. It shows us what happens under extreme conditions. It teaches us about pressure, gravity, and the behavior of matter. It reveals the limits of what planets can become. And it reminds us how small we are. Because compared to Jupiter, Earth is tiny. And compared to the forces inside Jupiter, we are fragile, completely unprepared for environments like this. So the next time you see Jupiter in the night sky, just a small bright dot in the distance, remember what it really is: a massive world of storms, pressure, heat, and radiation. A place where survival is impossible. A planet that wouldn't just kill you, but would completely erase you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos exploring the most extreme places in the universe. Because out there are places even more dangerous than this, and we're just getting started. But there's one more thing about Jupiter that makes it even more terrifying. Something we haven't talked about yet. Sound. Or more accurately, the lack of anything you would recognize as normal. If you were falling through Jupiter's atmosphere, the experience wouldn't just be physically overwhelming. It would be completely disorienting. The winds would be roaring around you at hundreds of miles per hour. Deep, thunder-like vibrations echoing through the thick atmosphere. Lightning cracking in the distance, but not like on Earth. Louder, heavier, more violent. And yet, none of it would sound familiar. Because the atmosphere is so dense and chaotic, sound wouldn't travel the same way. Everything would feel distorted, muffled in some moments, overpowering in others. You wouldn't be able to tell where anything is coming from. Up wouldn't feel like up. Down wouldn't feel like down. You'd be completely lost. And as you fall deeper, even light begins to disappear. The deeper layers of Jupiter's atmosphere get darker and darker. Clouds become thicker. Sunlight struggles to reach you. Eventually, you'd be falling through near total darkness. No horizon, no sky, no sense of direction. Just pressure, heat, and motion. And in that darkness, you wouldn't even be able to see what's happening to you, which somehow makes it worse. Because on Earth, danger is something we can usually see. We can react to it, avoid it. On Jupiter, there's nothing to react to. There's no escape route, no safe zone, no moment where things get better, only deeper, only worse. And this is what makes Jupiter different from almost every other place we've talked about. On Mars, you might survive for a few seconds. On other planets, maybe a little longer. But Jupiter doesn't give you a chance. There's no version of this where you figure it out. No version where you adapt. No version where you survive. Because Jupiter isn't just hostile. It's overwhelming. Every force acting on you is beyond what your body can handle. And they don't come one at a time. They come all at once. Pressure crushing you. Heat overwhelming you. Winds tearing you apart. Radiation breaking you down. Gravity pulling you deeper. There's no pause, no break, just a constant, unstoppable descent. And eventually, there's nothing left of you to continue that fall. That's what Jupiter really is. Not just a planet, but a place where the laws of physics are pushed to their limits. A place where everything we rely on to survive stops working. And yet, we still look at it with curiosity. We still study it. We still send missions toward it. Because even though it's deadly, it's also fascinating. Jupiter represents something powerful. It shows us how extreme the universe can become. It reminds us that not every world is meant for life. And maybe that's the most important lesson of all. Because as we explore deeper into space, we're going to find more places like Jupiter. Places that look incredible from a distance, but are completely unforgiving up close. And understanding that difference is what keeps us alive. So the next time you see Jupiter shining in the night sky, remember this: that bright point of light isn't just a planet. It's a warning, a reminder of how powerful the universe really is, and how fragile we are inside it. And if you ever got too close, you wouldn't just fall, you'd disappear into something, far beyond anything you were ever meant to survive. If you made it this far, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this, because out there, the universe only gets more extreme.